represented or attributed 20% of that volume from his market, the market he was controlling. Now, he was managing director, and he has a lot of experience, you can imagine, and he's a lot of connections coming from Binance, and that's very, very important. And I don't think there's anybody better that could steer this ship. I don't think there's any better that could manage this ship. He is of CEO material and corporate material. He is of technical material. This guy is very, very technical as well. He gets right into the nitty gritty of the technology. He wrote applications for the banks. He was part of the team that designed Binance Pay. He brought the Lightning Network, so he's right into the technology, into the blockchain. He's quite famous. If you Google him, you'll see he's everywhere. There's images here when he was much younger. There's images of him today. He's just in his very early 50s, so he's not a young man and he's not an old man. He's mature, and he has, as I said, a lot of experience. He's been interviewed by Cointelegraph just recently. He's been interviewed by Wendy O from social media. You can see him here with the Binance shirt on, and this is the Brian Benson, not some kind of actor. This is the real Brian Benson. Now, Forbes, which is a reputable media company, they've written more than once about this Aurum project. And they're telling us here in this issue that Aurum is providing institutional grade trading. Now, my understanding of institutional grade trading is it's a different caliber of trading. It's different risk management. It's the type of trading that would be conducted by the banks and the larger financial institutions like BlackRock. They would all use this institutional grade trading, different risk management, etc. Not trading like what I would call the wild, wild west of trading. But it was also interesting to note that Forbes had invited Mr. Brian Benson to their finance council. Now, this is great recognition. This is a great accolade to be nominated to be part of the Forbes council. That tells us that Forbes has done its due diligence on Brian. They feel he is of substance. They feel he is of enough experience to represent them on this finance council. And I'm not a bit surprised because I've watched what he did last year. He's traveled the world building his brand, building the tech. He's spoken all around the world. I was also impressed when I noted that Visa have also partnered up through the issuing bank. Again, I did a little bit of research. I found out who this bank is that issues these cards. It is a fully regulated, compliant bank that's issuing the Visa card. You can see it's got the Aurum and Visa on the card. It's co-branded. And you can imagine that, any issuing bank would need to obviously do their due diligence before partnering up. They would have to know who Brian Benson is. They would have to probably ask about the directors and the founders and maybe check out their accounts from last year, their license, and whatever else is applicable before they could issue this type of product. So that was very impressive. So when I heard about Morgan Stanley, Binance, Visa, and Forbes, when I put those four names together, I said, well, this is certainly worth digging in a little bit deeper, and maybe it would be very interesting to meet this gentleman. Now, he's traveled the world, as I said, and last year in October, he attended the Token 2049. This is the world's largest cryptocurrency or blockchain conference on the planet. It was at the same time the Formula One was on, and 25,000 people showed up. The tickets on the last day were $1,400 to get in. And who was on stage? Yes, Brian Benson from Aurum was on stage building the brand, talking about AI, talking about Aurum, looking for partnerships, looking for products for his community, looking for liquidity, and out there just building the brand. Richard Tang, his friend, was there from Binance. These two guys know each other from Binance. Richard got the CEO job. Brian didn't get the CEO job. And I know a lot of people are very happy about that, because otherwise, if Brian was this present CEO of Binance, we may not be having this conversation today. But this is the biggest blockchain conference, and that told me, wow, if this company's happy enough to put itself in an arena of experts and to show off its wares, this tells me we have a company here that's very proud of what it's doing, a company that's open to scrutiny. And I got a lot of confidence from understanding this. I then learned that at the end of last year, 2025, there's this week in the Emirates called the Finance Week. There's a series of conferences around at that time in the Emirates. And yes, who was speaking again on stage? None other than Brian Benson. In fact, he was interviewed, as I said earlier, by Wendy O, a very a prominent social media influencer. Again, it might be interesting for you to maybe do your own due diligence and go and check out these facts. Maybe listen to Wendy's questions and listen to Brian's answers. That's something you might find very, very interesting. But here on the stage, you can see this panel of experts at the Builders Roundtable. We've got Brian Benson here, almost center, but look who's next door. We've got Sebastian, the co-founder from Sandbox. Do you know who Sandbox is? Maybe that's where you need to do your homework. What about 1inch? Why is Brian Benson sitting with these experts at Finance Week? Did somebody tell me that Donald Trump's sons were here? Michael Saylor was down for the Finance Week in Abu Dhabi, and BlackRock were here. So this guy is certainly a man of means, a man of expertise, a man that's well sought and well thought of. And that's interesting to see that he's the CEO of the Aurum Opportunity. And then again, in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in the Sands area of Dubai, the hotel was taken for the Satoshi Roundtable. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, this forum, it has emulated from the Satoshi. It's called the Satoshi Roundtable. It's by private invitation only. It is the world leading experts in AI, in crypto, in blockchain that attend this event. It's by private invitation only. It's not open to the public. It's not open to the media. It's where the heads of expertise come together to roll out the technology of the future. And yes, Mr. Brian Benson again was here. I think he told me he was having breakfast with the CEO of Binance one of those mornings. And he continues to travel the world building this brand to bring this to $1 billion company. That's what he wants to do. He wants to generate $1 billion brand, but he also wants to generate 1,000 millionaires. That's his own personal goal. Now, if we just move on for a moment and take a look at some of the products that they're offering, this is a point of sale terminal. Now, most shops have one of these already. So what would be the benefit? Well, very simply, this device not only accepts Visa and MasterCard payment solutions, additionally, this will accept cryptocurrency payments. For a shopkeeper, the benefit would be threefold. Number one, a shop could advertise outside its premises, hey, we accept crypto payments in our store. And therefore, for people running around with a little bit of digital money on their accounts, they might go into these shops because they have the capability of accepting crypto payments. But I think that would generate new business for a lot of shopkeepers. And that's one of the reasons why they should probably take a look at this product. In addition to that, because the payments are done on the blockchain, the settlement of payments can be done much, much faster. If you go into a coffee shop and pay with a Visa or a MasterCard, yes, you paid for your coffee, but the shopkeeper doesn't have your money. That's sitting over at Visa. That's sitting over at MasterCard until they decide to settle with you. And if we use blockchain payments as in this device, that allows shopkeepers better cash flow because we can get the money to the customer like in 24 or 72-hour settlements because we're using blockchain. And then the third reason this might be interesting is we can reduce the fees. So very often you see some shops, they say we don't accept Visa cards, we only take cash. And many shops don't like the fees associated. And they say, if you don't do a payment over $10, we're not taking a credit card. You've got to pay cash. And that's because of the fees. And again, because of blockchain, we can move from the old, stale banking roles of Visa and MasterCard. Yes, they're successful. Yes, they've been around for many years. But if we can reduce the payments and reduce the fees and speed up the payments for the shops, that would be the reasons why a shopkeeper might be interested in this. Now, why might you be interested in it? Because the company is currently writing software that is called micropayments. And if it was you that put this into a shop, your digital wallet is included in the software. And every time the device is used on the blockchain, you get this tiny micropayment. And I think that's a phenomenal product where you can build a residual income as people go shopping. You could make some money. Now, of course, it hasn't got to manufacturing stage yet. The prototype is in the Aurum offices, but that should roll out later this year. That's a very exciting product. They're also developing ATM machines. These are two-way ATM machines, meaning you can insert your paper money, your cash, like a vending machine, and it will generate a digital payment to your wallet. But this machine will also do the opposite. If you need paper money, if you need cash, you generate a QR code to your wallet. present it to the ATM machine, and out comes the cash. Sound effects and all not included. They're my sound effects. So this is a great product. The physicality of a card, a Visa card, the physicality of these machines and the advertising and branding, I think stands well for this company. They've also launched their exchange in public beta testing. Now, this exchange is quite interesting. There are a number of exchanges out there. You know them yourself. You know the Binances and the KuCoins and the MXCs. You've heard of the OKX and the KuCoins and the Coinbases. These are exchanges, but Brian Benson has agreed that 50% of the fees generated from this platform will be shared back with the community. And that's a lot of different, if you're swapping stuff over on Binance or anywhere else, that's how Binance makes its money on these transaction fees. Brian Benson has agreed that 50% of the commissions generated here are coming back to the community. And that's why customers, if they're involved with Aurum, should be using this platform, should be using this exchange. But in addition to that benefit, they've also got a staking product. It's called liquidity staking. And you can get 17 to 20% on your money annually here. This is an annual yield. Like 17 to 20% is much better than any bank. 17 to 20% a year is much better than any piece of property. You can't get 17 to 20% a year yield on property. Renting out property, that's not possible. You're more likely to get 5% or 6, 7, 8, or 9% on property. This is 17 to 20%. And on gold, it's very difficult to get 10% yield in gold. This is 17 to 20%. So a great product for traditional business people that like to park some money here. And there's lots of people that have a little bit of Bitcoin sitting here and a little bit of XRP over there and a little bit of USDT sitting in this wallet, stagnant, doing nothing. Here, by staking your money, what happens is it gets a daily yield. So even though it's an annual yield, it's paid every day. You don't have to leave it for a week or a month or a year. And full liquidity, meaning you can withdraw tomorrow or today if you wish. So there's no lock-in period. I think that's a great product as well. I'd like you to now listen to Brian Benson himself. He saw thousands of people becoming millionaires when he worked at Binance. Over there, he was the managing director in Binance. Here, he's the CEO, and he wants to do it again. This time, he wants to be remembered for the gentleman that created 1,000 millionaires. Have a listen to this, please.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally. Is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have here at Aurum is very similar to when I started at Binance. So Binance went from nothing to $1 billion. Brian Benson himself now is feeling that energy. He's feeling that the growth coming here for the Aurum community and for the product development, the ecosystem rolling out. He feels that same energy here now with Aurum. So that's part of a longer interview. I just managed to crop that so you can hear a little bit from the gentleman himself. The good thing is he's a very approachable. He travels the world, he attends events, he speaks to people, he comes on Zooms. A very hands-on CEO. You're not going to find him in fancy dress suits and draped with gold. That's not the Brian Benson. Brian Benson is the worker. Brian Benson is the traveler who travels the world building his brand. Very interesting gentleman. Now, to get involved in the platform, there is a fee. It's an annual fee of $20. I call that 4 cups of coffee to have an international fintech business. It's really Very, very honorable. It means that most people on the planet could participate. Many businesses cost tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to set up. Here, you can have your own international business for just $20. And in all the people I've spoken to, I don't know one single person that would accept $20 for their business today, even though that's all it costs. Now, this subscription gives you access to the product range that you can use. It's a bit like playing for the gym membership. You can go into the gymnasium, you can use the rowing machine or the weight lifts or the running machines, or you can use the steam room or the sauna. Here, for $20 a year, you can use all of their fintech products. And there's some very, very interesting ones here. This appears to be everybody's favorite. Anybody I've spoken to have said this seems to be the number one product. It's been around for 3 years now. It started in January 23, and it was funded by VCs, venture capitalists. Now, I believe it was in Forbes where I read this. It said that Brian Benson closed a $12 million VC round to fund this bot and to test this out back in the early days. Now, a year and a half later, in September 2024, they decided to open this to the retail market because someone advised them that if they wanted to open an exchange, which they didn't have back then, but if they were intending to open an exchange, it would be a great idea to create an affiliate program like Binance. Binance have an affiliate program. Crypto.com have an affiliate program. Who else has? Amazon have an affiliate program. They were advised that if they wanted to have a successful launch of an exchange, they would require lots of users, lots of token holders, lots of wallet holders, and the affiliate model would be the way to build that community. So a year and a half after this product started, they opened it up to retail. Although I never heard about it until April time in 2025. But I like that. I like the fact that it's got longevity. It's proven the test of time. They have 28 strategies operating here presently. They don't use leverage trading because that's quite risky. When you use institutional grade trading, the risk parameters are a whole lot different than maybe some kids sitting at home trying to trade. They use spot trading on this, and it's the top 20 pairs on CoinMarketCap. The performance has been exceptional. It's been over 500% in the first 2.5 years. And we can see an update here as of this month, let's say the end of January. We can see that it's done $11 million in profit. And that's based on a trading pool of $77 million. So there's presently in around $77 million trading in this particular fund. On average, it's doing about 16-17% a month. Not that you're going to get that. They will not give that to you or to me. What they'll do is they'll allow you to set up your own bank account with them. They call it the Aurum Neo Bank, and they will give you 8 wallets. You'll be having your own Bitcoin wallet. You'll get your own USDT wallet. They'll give you your own Ethereum, BNB, Pepe, Doge. They'll give you a Polygon wallet and an Aurum token wallet, which you'll not need right now, but you get these 8 wallets in your bank account, and then you can fund your account. You'll ultimately be able to download this on Apple Pay and on Google Play. You'll just download the banking app and you'll fund it. And then from there, you can start using it and try some of their products. Now, this particular product, let's say you wanted to test, I don't know, $120. That's going to fall into the basic category. You're going to get approximately 10% a month on this account. For those of you that want to do more than that, let's say you were able to do $300 or $450 or $908. There's no package. It's just whatever you'd like to do. So if you come into the standard category, those accounts will enjoy profits of about 11% a month. For those of you that can manage more than that, let's say between $1,000 and $2,500, those guys are going to get about 12%. You can see yourself there. The larger the deposit to your own account, the better the potential rewards you're going to receive. Now, I had a number of questions about this particular product, and my first question was, well, if you're paying out all this money to these customers, how does the company itself make the money? I wanted to know, I mean, you need a strong company, you need a reliable company. So how does the company make money? And I was told the answer is in front of my eyes. The answer is on the screen. So if the fund is doing, let's say on average 17.5%, and let's say your account is getting 10% a month, the company gets what's called the spread, the difference. So you're getting 10%, the company's making 7% on all those accounts. Now, most people's accounts will probably be in this lower region anyway. So this is where the company makes its most money. For those of you that are getting 11%, you can see the company will make 6. For those of you that get 12%, the company's still making 5% of those accounts every month. And for those customers that are getting 13%, the company still makes 4% every month. So you can see in every occasion, the company's making money. And I think that's a very good situation. My next question was, well, can you withdraw this money? Can you withdraw these profits you're making? And the answer was yes, absolutely. And I said, well, when? And they said, well, any day you want, every day, any and every day. So my next question was, well, if you can withdraw the money, is there big penalties? Is there big fees for taking the money out? Because I've seen some platforms that are charging 7%, 8, 9, even 10% to withdraw your own money, which is chronic. But I was pleasantly surprised when I was told that the withdrawal fee is just 1%. I mean, that's very, very fair. I mean, that's just a handling fee. It's nothing. So that was good news. And then my last question was, well, okay, what about my principal, the seed? Is that possible to take out? And they told me that this particular product was designed for 12 months. And if you wanted it out inside 12 months, yes, there would be an early retirement fee. But like your pension plan, you know, we put into a pension plan for 40 years of our life. And if we take that pension early, we just don't get the same half we leave at the full term. If you get involved in real estate, again, that's more like a long-term investment where, you know, you want to hold that property for at least 10 years to get some growth on it. This is a 12-month growth product. So that's what it's designed for. Now, they have 7 of these trading bots. This is just one we're looking at right now. The other 6 don't have that rule. You can put your money in and out anytime you want. But this particular one, and it's the best performing one, of course, and that's why people like this one. It's designed for 12 months. If you do need your principal, you can get it. Let's say there was an emergency in the household. Let's say, God forbid, it was a medical you needed, or maybe it was just financial, you needed the money. Yes, you can withdraw your principal on the first day of every month, on the 10th day of every month, and on the 20th of every month. So I was very pleased to see that. I then was able to get hold of an example of a couple of accounts. Now, this did not come from the company itself. This came from a customer's account. So this is live data from customer's account. The account was funded on the 17th of April. You can see in the bottom left-hand side, and it was funded to the tune of $500. So I would call that a reasonably small account. I know you can start with $100, but this particular customer started with $500. Then if we look in the, can you see the they call that the oval shape? There's $882 on deposit. So if the customer put in 500 and there's 882 in it now, the balance, the profit element is 382. And your question is obviously going to be, well, how long did it take to get from $500 to $800 or 882? And the answer to that is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen right now. If you look down by the blue arrow where it's pointing, you can see this screen grab was taken on the 17th of September. So if the account was funded on the 17th of April, you can see they're created the 17th of April. And if we're looking at the 17th of September, that's exactly 5 months data. And in those 5 months, this particular account achieved 76%. So when you take the math, when you take the profit of 382 and you place it over the top of the deposit of 500, you divide the bottom number into the top number, that gives you the percentage, 76%. It beats gold. It's pretty sensational for a very small account. And I was pleased to see that even the small customers can enjoy these kind of benefits, getting the ability to touch institutional grade trading for small funded customers. I think that's very, very favorable for lots of customers. Now, I mean, past performance isn't indicative of future results. The markets change at all times, but this is a customer's account, and this is real data. I was then able to get my hands on a larger account, and this account was started on the 10th of April, 2025, and we can see the date down here again in the oval shape. Can you see it started on the 10th of April, 2025? Just for interest, the account number ends in 1972. Can you see that? And this is a $10,000 account, but look, guys, there's more than 10,000 in it. There's 12,360. The profit element was 2,360. So we're going to have the same question again. How long did it take for this account to go from 10,000 to 12,360? The answer is in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You'll see the 16th of May. Can you see that? So from the 10th of April to the 10th of May is 1 month. And from the 10th of May to the 16th of May is 6 days. It's 1 month and 6 days. Allow me to round that up to 5 weeks. This account made 23% in 5 weeks. The 10,000 became 12,300. Now, the next time we were able to get a look at this account was on the 24th of June. Can you see the timestamp here, the 24th of June? The account had grown from 12,000 to 15,500. It had generated another $3,200 of profit. The total term was 10 weeks. From the 10th of April to the 24th of June is just 10 weeks. And in those 10 weeks, this account achieved 55%. Imagine you bought a property for $100,000 on the 10th of April, and you sold it for $155,000 10 weeks later. That's good business. That's really good business. The next time we checked out the account was the 10th of July, and you can see that the account had grown to $17,000. And after 16 weeks, just 4 months, this account had doubled. $10,000 had achieved $20,000. I want you to note, because I'm not sure your account is going to be the same value, but I notice here that this account is compounding. How do I know? Can you see the little white button inside the green slider here? Can you see that all the way up there? This customer has chosen to compound, meaning the profit generated today stays inside Binance with that principal amount trading. And therefore, you get the effect of not just the deposit trading, you get the deposit and the principal working together. And that's why this account has done exceptionally well, because of the compounding effect. Now, when you open an account with these guys, this button is not turned on. In fact, if you're new to this, you'll not even know where to find that button. But if you do, and it's your prerogative, if you turn it on, it allows it to actually perform even better, because you're allowing the principal to trade on top of the profit generated to get a better return. And that's why this account has done particularly well. The other thing I want you to notice on this screenshot here is, can you see the withdraw button is grayed out here? And look at above, it's grayed out again. But look at the top, it's not, it's gone bright blue and bright blue. Why do you think that is? Because I've already said, if you want your profit, you can take it anytime. But if you want your principal, you can only take it on the first day of every month, the 10th day of every month, and the 20th day of every month. So when we look at the bottom here, it's the 16th of May. That's not the 1st, 10th, or the 20th. When we look at the 24th of the June, that's not the 1st, 10th, or 20th. But when we look at the 10th of July, that is one of the withdrawal dates. It's the 1st, 10th, or 20th. That is the 10th, so it does withdraw. And same with the 10th of August. So 1st, 10th, and 20th, you can actually withdraw your principal, but your profit, as long as it's not trading, can be withdrawn any day at a fee of 1%. So very, very fair. Now, that was back in the 10th of August. But since the 10th of August, there's been the 10th of September, October, November, December. What do you think might have happened over the next 4 months? So that's the first 4 months, it doubled. 10 became 20. Let's have a look what happened over the next 4 months. Have a look here, guys. You'll see that this is the same account. It's ending in 1972. It started on the 10th of April. And if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see we're looking now at the 10th of December, 8 months. This account has doubled again. So in the first 4 months, it doubled from 10 to 20. And in the next 4 months, it did the same thing again. Well, almost. It's $500 short of doubling, which is incredible. And now you can see the customers making additional deposits. The confidence has come in. But that was back in the 10th of December. What about the 10th of January? What do you think the 39,500 became in 1 more month? 4 more weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look. There it is. The 39,500 became 46,974. Almost 5 times in 9 months. Almost 5 times in 9 months. Again, this is not financial advice. I have nothing to sell you here. I'm not offering you my referral link. I'm simply telling you facts about a particular customer account. It is trading. It does present certain risks. You're told to say that and disclaim that on no matter who you're working for, no matter who you're talking to. But I can tell you that this is sensational performance in my humble point of view for a reasonably small account. So that's our main product. They do have 6 different bots. They all have different, I suppose, rules and different parameters. But there's one called the EXI bot, the Pro bot. There's one called the Zeus bot, and you'll find those on Telegram, and you'll also find them in the Neobank on Apple and on Google Play Store. So really cool products. Again, maybe the person that shared this with you will give you more information. Maybe you need to attend one of the trainings. The idea of this was just an overview, just some education purposes, just to share the information, to let you think about it, to let you go and do your due diligence so that you can make a very informed decision. The last thing I want to talk about is this card, incredible card. Why? Well, because they don't ask for your utility bills or your bank statements. They don't ask for passports or driving licenses. You can get one of these Visa cards. Presently, there is you can have up to $100,000 a month. Now, I don't know who needs that kind of money, but if you went over $100,000 a month, then they would require what's called AML, anti-money laundering, and they would require KYC, know your client information. But up until 100,000, that is presently not required. This is not issued out of a European bank. This is not issued out of a United States bank, but it is a regulated bank. And I've actually done a little bit of homework on this. I actually know who the bank is that issues this card. But it's a great product for those of you that want to spend cryptocurrency. Maybe you have crypto somewhere, you can import it from outside. Let's say you have a little bit of USDT on Coinbase, or a little bit of USDT over on Binance, or maybe you have it on Trust Wallet or Token Pocket or MetaMask. You can import that to your Aurum account and send it straight onto the card. You don't have to trade it at all. So they have products here that trade and they have products that don't. The utility product, the staking product, liquidity product, there's no trading on that product. The card, there's no trading. The point of sale terminals and the ATMs, there's no trading. There's lots of things that do not engage trading, but they do have a variety of products and some very interesting products. And they're about to launch real world assets, RWAs. They're about to launch real estate, gold, and data centers. How would you like to participate in data centers? So what Aurum will do is they will buy out a data center and they will fractionalize the ownership of that. You can participate. And as data is a big requirement, the moving of information on data farms, it's big business for AI and everything else. You could be a participant in that data farm. You could be a participant and get a royalty or get a reward as these centers make money. And that's coming up very, very soon. So I see a very big ecosystem with payment solution cards with Visa. I see exchange products. I see point of sale terminals. I see real world assets, including gold, property or real estate, and data centers. I see AI agents and trading bots, and there's an education platform coming on as well. And what I like about this is many companies out there, they want your money to build out their tech. And I don't like that kind of company that wants your money and you're going to make money in the future. No, this company appeared to have everything in place. They appear to have everything that we need, except the ATM machines. And that's what I like. It's already established. It's ready here to be enjoyed. And again, I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, this card is sensational. I'm going to show you it working here. This customer from the UK has his card since June 2025. So it's not a new thing. It's out there and it's working around the world. Let's have a look. This customer stopped the bot from trading. He pressed his top up button and allowed the profit to go up onto his Visa card. And then he went down to the shop to test it. This is the second test he's done.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Thank you.
There we go. We've also have evidence of it working in the ATM machine. We've seen people withdrawing the cryptocurrency from the ATM machine. So that's our presentation over. I want to thank you for joining us on this occasion. Please do get back to the person that shared this information. They thought enough of you to think there might be something interesting to you. Please, if it's not for you, that's 100% fine. Call them up and thank them at least for thinking of you. If it is for you, listen, I wish you every success with your due diligence. Please do seek professional advice, and I hope the decision you make is the right one for you and for your family. Thank you, everyone. For those of you who'd like to stay on, I'm going to spend just 5 minutes to talk about the affiliate program. It's not for everybody, but we have an affiliate program. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. Apple have an affiliate program. You'll find that on the Apple website. Binance have an affiliate program. You'll find that on their website. Amazon have a great affiliate program. Aurum have decided to launch one as well. And an affiliate program is very, very simple. Instead of spending money on television, on Google ads, on Facebook marketing, on radio, on publications, if a customer registered on account of your referral, the company give you a thank you bonus. They don't pay the TVs, they don't pay the radio stations, they don't pay Google. They're paying you a handshake. They're saying, thank you very much. We have a customer now based on your referral, based on your recommendation. We'd like to give you something for that. We'd like to give you a thank you bonus. And that's what we have here. So let's take a quick look at the affiliate program. There are 15 ranks. You don't have to understand it, but I just want to give you an overview of how it works. When you start as a Nova. Nova means new. And if a customer did decide to try our products based on your recommendation, you get a 3% bonus. It's very, very simple. It's just a handshake. So if they tried $100, you're going to get $3. It's not going to make you rich. But the good news is every time the customer does a top up or makes an additional deposit, maybe a customer tries it this month and in 4 more months they try some more, you would get that 3% always. So it would be linked to your affiliate link. You could have 1 customer, you might have 2, you might get 4 customers or 9 or 15, you might get 10,000, doesn't matter. It's a 1-tier affiliate program. It's not this multi-level thing. When I saw this slide, I thought, oh, is this multi-level? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looked to me like 7-level thing. It's not like that at all. This is a payment structure, a bit like traditional business. You might be working in the shop and the boss promote you after 8 months to supervisor. So you get a rank promotion and you get a pay rise. And then later on, he might promote you to the manager of the shop. So you get a rank promotion and you get a pay rise. And then maybe 3 years later, you get area manager of a number of stores because your shop has done so well that they've promoted you to area manager. That's a rank promotion and a pay rise. And then maybe after a period of time, you become a director in the company. You get what? A pay rise. This is a pay rise plan. So the more volume that you bring to the community, the pay rises start to rank up. So the first pay rise is 5% instead of 3%. To achieve that, you need 7,500 of total team trading in all of your customer base. So maybe your customer only tried 1 or 200, but they knew somebody who tried 1 or 200, and they knew somebody who tried 1 or 200, and they knew somebody who tried 5,000. And all of a sudden, out of all of the customers in your team, not just your front line, to unlimited generations in depth, once $7,500 has been achieved, by automatic promotion, you become Voyager. You get 5% on deposits instead of 3. You've got a pay rise. You get an instant cash bonus of $100. You can put that on the card if you've got one of the cards. You can add it to your trading account if you want the 100 to grow. You can withdraw that to any USDT wallet of your choice. So that's another thing you get. And then you get this extra bonus that every single day, as each of your customers enjoy profits, you're getting a 5% matching bonus on that. Let's suggest I was your customer and I make $100 tomorrow, you're getting $5. If I make $100 the next day, you get $5. If I make $200 the next day, you get $10. You get 5% on all of your customers, on all of their customers, and their customers, on the entire community of customers. You're getting 5% on every account to infinity on the profits generated. It's a daily matching bonus. Now, who wants 5% when we can see there's 7% available? To achieve 7%, you require $25,000 of total team trading. That's your customers, theirs, and theirs, to infinity generations. You require to help promote 2 Voyagers. Here's the good news. You don't have to introduce these superstars yourself. These Voyagers can appear anywhere in depth as long as they're on 2 separate legs. Maybe one pops up on the 4th level, and maybe somebody down on the 11th generation hits that Voyager. You need 2 Voyagers in your team. You need 25,000 of total team trading volume, and you need $300 in your own account trading. With those 3 qualifications, your Vanguard, you get a $500 instant cash bonus. You get 7.5% every day on the profit. You used to get 5. Now it's increased to 7.5% on every profit of every customer to infinity. However, when there's a Voyager in line, then they get 5%, and you get 2.5% override. It's the differential from what you're quoted at and your customer is. So let's look at this briefly. Let's say the Voyager appeared on your 4th generation. So you're going to get 7.5% on the profit your own customer makes, 7.5% on the next customer's profits, 7.5% on the next customer's profit every day. Then this Voyager guy's on your 4th generation, you get 7.5% on that customer as well. But now he's getting 5% on the rest of the customers to infinity. You get a 2.5 override the whole way to infinity on all that business. If you've got open lines of business where there are no Voyagers on the line, you're getting that 7.5% on all customers. And if you've understood what I've said in those first 3 generations, you've understood 90% of our compensation plan. It's quite simple. Even if you don't understand it, it still works. It's a bit like your car. Your car will take you from your house to the shop. You don't necessarily understand how the engine works, but it can get you from A to B. Same with the light switch. I turn on the light switch and these lights come on the roof and I go, my goodness, how does that work? What makes it come out of what? How does it generate? I hit a switch on the wall and it goes on, and I hit the switch the opposite way and it goes black. It goes out. I go, wow. Like, we use this every day. Do we really, really understand electricity? Do we really understand what Edison created in the light bulb? But we use it every day. Same here. You don't have to understand this to make it work. It understands itself. You just bring the business and you start making these commissions. Now, of course, you can attend the trainings. The idea of this is just an overview to give you a feel for the company, give you a feel for the product range that's available, and to give you a feel for the potential of the affiliate program. Again, if you want to go up the other ranks, it's just a little bit more volume, a little bit more structure, and you get 9%. A little bit more volume, a little bit more structure, you get 10.5%. And you can see, as you rank up, you get these cash bonuses of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. There's companies out there, when you get to a certain rank, they give you a very fancy pen. And then when you hit the next rank, they give you the choice of an iPhone or a Samsung. And then when you hit the next rank, they give you an iPad or a PC or a laptop. And then when you hit the next rank, they give you, is it a holiday to Cancun or a holiday to somewhere. And then when you hit the next rank, they give you a nice watch. And then when you hit the next rank, they give you the fancy car. Well, this company don't do any of that. This company gives you money, more money. In fact, the product here is more money. Every day you get more money. Every single customer that is using these products is making money every single day. That's why this is very, very successful. Now, I did say there was 15 ranks. On the screen, there are only 7. The next 8 are on the next page. It's a 2-page comp plan. If you hit Elite, there is a $20,000 cash bonus. If you hit Magnet, you get that $50,000 bonus. If you hit Mythos, you get 100. If you hit Legend, you get 150. And if you hit Dominion, you get $500,000 cash bonus. Now, I thought, well, that's kind of impossible. Who's going to do that? We already know lots of people that are starting to hit these ranks inside their first 12 months. It's very, very possible. If you want to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, all you need to do is follow a system, find a mentor, get your questions answered, plug in, commit to the business, treat it like a business. If you had a shop in town, would you open the business for an hour on a Thursday evening from 8 o'clock and close it at 9 o'clock? Or would you open your business all day? That's the difference. Treat it like a business, you get a business income. Treat it like a hobby, you're going to get a hobby income. With that said, I hope there's something here for all of you. If not, we do appreciate you taking time. Please, again, get back to the person that shared this information with me. Get your very valid questions answered. And I hope the decision you come up with is the right one for you and for your family. Thanks again. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks. Goodbye. I apologize. There seemed to be a bit of a delay in my internet there at times. So, but I think we got it all covered inside an hour. Thanks and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.